教えてあげるよ、ミスター月本。君の卓球がいかに軟弱で脆いかを。
From the very beginning, Ping Pong the animation makes it clear that it isn't interested in telling its story in a conventional way. From the scratchy character models and off-kilter storyboarding, to the rapid and pulsating use of manga-esque layouts to communicate simultaneous events, the anime is incredibly novel. But baked into this eccentricity is a deeply sincere sense of melancholy. Because of the way in which the story centers on the raw emotions of its characters as they struggle in pain to find their way in life, the overall tone here is one of a captivating, strange sadness and calm, as the cast look both inwards and outwards to try and find what they're looking for in this world. Of course, that doesn't mean that the overall message of the narrative is negative or depressing. In fact, it's quite the opposite. But the journey towards that theme is very raw and contemplative. And a big way that this journey is detailed is through a primary focus on motifs and symbolism. In particular, the idea of wings is so prevalent in Ping Pong. It's a symbol that can be used in such a broadly applicable and poignant way, using the core concept to key us into character psychology in many different contexts, all of which drip with richness. Feeble wings too weak to carry you, spreading one's wings, being grounded, taking flight and being free. While the idea of flying is far from foreign to sports anime, the sheer variation in the way it's applied here strikes home and feeds into the themes beautifully.
その薄い羽では海を渡ることはできない。
Likening them to that of a monarch butterfly, Coach Koizumi laments Smile's fragile wings here. He says that his athlete's tendency to hold back, shrink, and not push himself limits him from broadening his horizons and enriching his life. After all, there are just some views that you can only see from the top. Yet, Smile is safe and withdrawn, happy with his small ceiling and not interested in much outside his bubble. This makes his conviction and will, and as a result, his wings, flimsy and incapable of propelling him to the greatest human experiences. So, Koizumi makes it his mission to challenge Smile to not shrink when he encounters opponents, to build his wings so that he can seek higher planes. And he does this primarily because he genuinely wants the best for Smile, yet it is also related to the complicated feelings he has about his own wings. But wings are also symbolized in an even more abstract way through the journey of Kong Wengu. Struggling with everything he has to make it to the top in Japan and return to his homeland of China, Ping Pong becomes a means to an end for Kong. Yet it slowly becomes clear to him that things simply won't work out in the way that he intended them to. But this scene, while sad, is oddly optimistic. The airplane disappearing into the distance that would have sent Kong home, the symbol of his dreams, is the only true example of the concept of wings in the story being mechanical and artificial. But this artificiality totally juxtaposes the more natural and organic wings seen throughout the series, symbolizing that his yearning for the plane is not his true journey to freedom, and that he can grow his own wings and find his own place instead. Having matured to a huge extent, Kong and his coach look on with an acceptance and a true belief that Kong's life is only just beginning. He is not dependent on being passively taken on a journey attached to these cold metal wings that are not his. He can grow on his own. He truly believes this, and his small smile says it all. Kong would have loved to have won everything and gone back, but that just wasn't a path that was feasible for him. That plane was an unreachable dream. Yet, that doesn't mean that he can't double back and learn to fly on his own. It all speaks of mankind's yearning to reach beyond, to see things far removed from the bindings of the everyday. We have our own endeavors and motivations, and we want to be able to reach them. However, a good amount of us also want to grasp things for ourselves. We want these wings to be a part of us, and the most valuable experiences will be the ones that we will ourselves towards. We're all born earthbound, and we all have different paths that we will have to take to leave the ground. But the common denominator here is that deep desire.
鳥はいいな。この山よりずっと高いとこまでスイスイだ。飛行機のない時代から下界の醜い戦なんかを眺めていたのかな。鳥に生まれたかったな。
But for some, it isn't exactly clear how to go about achieving that desire. And that is where the concept of the hero comes in. And the hero can come in different forms. The friends that Kong made to help him gain perspective, for example. But the primary hero here has to be Peiko. Being the person embodying pure love, joy, and passion for the sport, the one who can most effortlessly have fun, he's the ideal push needed for those who cannot fly. The most prevalent character with regards to this being Ryuichi Kazuma, or Dragon. Raised into being a deadly serious, results-oriented person after the death of his father, he viewed the sport as very painful, as a burden and an obligation, as a treacherous mountain to scale. But the beautiful thing is that one change of mindset, one gesture from another, can help you view the task as a flight instead of a climb. View this task not as a burden, but as a beautiful sight to take in and experience. And that is what Peiko teaches Kazuma in their match. That's all a hero has to be, just this simple concept. Connection with others in order to find meaning and happiness through embodying them. And of course, Peiko does not pull Kazuma up from the depths. Instead, he teaches him how to fly for himself, similar to the way that Kong had no need to rely on wings that were never his. And the key is not that he never had them, but that he just didn't know how to use them. A shift in perspective, a helping hand, a joyful opponent. That's all that's needed to learn. And in the end, it's easy. This idea continues into the finals, where Peiko reaches out to the now ruthless and cold Smile to help him see what he does, to broaden his world and take flight. Which, of course, is what Smile was desperately hoping Peiko would do for a long, long time. As children, we dream of being able to soar, and that's something that never really changes deep within. Life alters us, but in the end, we all just want to be free, to feel euphoria, to fly.
人の原動力って大概幼稚なんでないの?
It's these simple joys that Peiko embodies that finally give Smile this sense of fulfillment and help him live up to his moniker. And that is why it's the hero who has the strongest of wings. It is said throughout the story that the strongest players allow you to fly the highest, and that is what Peiko is. Action and reaction, movement without thinking, instinct and joy, transcending all. His injury, physical limitations, ideological differences, leaving everything behind to help his suffering opponent take flight and see what he sees. Wings defined by melancholy, defined by self-actualization, defined by heroism. We all have different types of wings that will take us to different places, and that means that we need to do different things to find our own internal peace, our solace and harmony with the world. But stumble as we may, we'll always have the potential to fly. We just need the right stimulus. And that is what all of the characters are able to do by the end. They're able to be at one with the sky and live their lives the way they please. It was never easy, but it was never impossible either. Because in the end, we are alive. And that in itself means that we can do it. Many thanks for watching.